This was always the intention that, you know, it's one thing to have sporting foes or rivalries like Australia and New Zealand, but Charlotte was really keen to put the political context and the social context around it. I mean, that was why she wanted to do the film when she put it in to get commissioned, or, you know, to try and get interest.
Yep.
So it was always there at the heart of the story, and it is that thing, because suddenly you discover you get the Rainbow Warrior bombing, and then they're playing the French. It really kind of adds spice
Totally.
to the mix of the sport, and I suppose it is that whole point that sport and politics don't mix, and this film is very much about the fact that you can't separate the two. They're joined at the hip.
But then later on you hear stories about Nelson Mandela being on, is it Robben Island?
Yep.
Hearing stories about the people in Waikato stopping the game and that giving him heart.
Yeah.
So then you kind of go, well, anyone who thinks that there's no crossover between sport and politics is loony. You know, there's obviously a connection there, or at least there can be a connection in certain circumstances.
I think it was a convenient excuse by a certain party. I mean, people wanted the sport. You know, they wanted to see the Springboks play. They were seen as one of the biggest teams in the world at the time. So for New Zealanders, they wanted to see their team play the South Africans. But I think also the rugby union in the day, completely separate from today.
Yeah.
They were complicit in the whole thing, in the whole mix of things, because they talk. One of the characters says Blazy, sort of represents the rugby union for me in the time that sport and politics don't mix. This is sport. We're going to do it regardless of everything else. Yeah. But and if you go backwards, before that, you had the 76 tour that resulted in the Montreal Olympics with 25 teams basically boycotting it because of the All Blacks tour. And then you get everything that went down in 81. And then they plan a tour in 85 to go to South Africa, which is really the start of the film. To say that, they don't know what's going on and sport and politics doesn't mix is just, I'm never going to buy that one.
And also, you've done such a clever job bringing the social commentary in. I was thinking, how sometimes you see a banner to a film and it's got quotes from like Rolling Stone says, says, and I was thinking the one for this is so much more than just a rugby documentary.
Yeah, the tagline. Yeah, absolutely.